investigators reporting about terrified members of a local family who told police they had aliens in their backyard.
A family is walking their dog on a quiet country road when a blue light descends from the sky, landing just feet away. This is not an isolated incident. It's a regular occurrence in the Falkirk Triangle. For years, this small area of Scotland has been the epicenter of a UFO flap of unprecedented proportions. With over 3,000 sightings and counting, the question is not if something is happening, but what. The truth behind the Falkirk Triangle is a puzzle with pieces scattered across time, and we are about to put them all together. Scotland's secret skies. In the heart of Scotland lies a place where the line between the ordinary and the extraordinary has been blurred for decades. They call it the Falkirk Triangle, an area of about 50 square miles between the towns of Falkirk, Stirling, and Bonnybridge. To put it mildly, this is not your average sleepy corner of the world. Since the early 1990s, this small patch of land has become the UFO capital of the world, with over 3,000 reported sightings. You see, this isn't a case of a few people seeing some strange lights in the sky. We're talking about hundreds, even thousands of credible witnesses, police officers, teachers, firefighters, and everyday folks who have seen things that defy any logical explanation. You see, the sightings in the Falkirk Triangle are not just fleeting glimpses of distant lights. Witnesses have described solid, structured craft of immense size, often triangular in shape, moving with a silent grace that is simply not possible with our current technology. These objects have been seen hovering motionless for hours before accelerating to incredible speeds in the blink of an eye. The thing nobody tells you is the sheer consistency of these reports. Over and over again, people from different walks of life in different locations have described the exact same things. It's a phenomenon that has left experts scratching their heads and the government in a state of baffling silence. Many people are crazy about the idea of extraterrestrial visitors, but in the Falkirk Triangle, the reality is much more complex and, in some ways, more unsettling. We are not just talking about UFOs. We are talking about a persistent, and some would say, invasive presence in our skies. What is happening in this small corner of Scotland? Are we witnessing the first steps of a silent invasion, or is the truth something far more bizarre and closer to home? The mystery of the Falkirk Triangle is a rabbit hole that goes deeper than you can possibly imagine. The sheer number of sightings, averaging over 300 a year, has put this small Scottish town on the global map for all the wrong reasons. The local councillor, William Buchanan, has written to 4 prime ministers, begging for an official investigation, but his pleas have fallen on deaf ears. The Ministry of Defense, after a brief and dismissive investigation, concluded that there was no evidence of any threat to the United Kingdom's airspace. But for the people of Bonnybridge, who live under these strange skies every day, that answer is simply not good enough. But not all things are what they seem. What if the objects in the sky are not from another planet, but from another time, or even another dimension? The Falkirk Triangle is a place steeped in ancient history and folklore. It is a land of standing stones, ancient battlefields, and tales of the Fae, or fairies, who were said to abduct humans and take them to their otherworldly realm. Could it be that what we are seeing today is just a modern interpretation of a phenomenon that has been happening for centuries? The similarities between ancient fairy abduction stories and modern-day alien abduction accounts are, to say the least, striking. Both involve missing time, strange medical examinations, and a journey to a world that is both beautiful and terrifying. The thing is, this is not just speculation. There is a growing body of evidence that suggests a link between UFO sightings and areas of high magnetic anomalies, and the Falkirk Triangle just happens to be one of those places. The mystery deepens as we are about to uncover a shocking government cover-up: the A70 incident. On a dark and lonely stretch of the A70 road, just outside of Edinburgh, 2 men were about to have an experience that would change their lives forever. In August of 1992, Gary Wood and Colin Wright were driving to the small village of Tarbrax when they saw a bright metallic disc hovering over the road ahead. The next thing they knew, they were 2 hours in the future, with no memory of what had happened in between. This is the A70 incident, one of the most compelling and terrifying UFO abduction cases in Scottish history. The 2 men, both respected members of their community, were left shaken and confused. They had lost 2 hours of their lives, and they had a strange feeling that they had been violated. In the days and weeks that followed, they started having flashbacks, nightmares of strange beings with large, dark eyes and a sense of being experimented on. They decided to undergo hypnotic regression to try and uncover the truth of what had happened to them. What they remembered under hypnosis was the stuff of nightmares. They recalled being taken aboard the craft, where they were subjected to a series of painful and humiliating medical procedures by tall, slender beings. What many overlooked is the sheer terror of this experience. We often think of alien abduction as something from a movie, but for Gary Wood and Colin Wright, it was a horrifying reality. They were not just witnesses to a strange object in the sky. They were victims of a terrifying ordeal that left them with deep psychological scars. The thing nobody tells you is that their story is not unique. There have been hundreds of similar reports from all over the world. But what makes the A70 incident so compelling is the credibility of the witnesses and the physical evidence they had to back up their claims. Both men had strange marks on their bodies that they couldn't explain, and their car showed signs of being exposed to intense heat. But not all things are what they seem. The official explanation for the A70 incident was, of course, silence. The Ministry of Defense refused to investigate, and the police were at a loss to explain what had happened. But for the UFO research community, the A70 incident is a smoking gun, a piece of evidence that cannot be ignored. The details of Gary and Colin's abduction have been corroborated by other witnesses who saw a strange object in the sky that night. And the psychological trauma they suffered is consistent with what is known as post-traumatic stress disorder, a condition that is often seen in people who have experienced a traumatic event. Many people are crazy about the idea of a government cover-up, and in the case of the Falkirk Triangle, the evidence is hard to ignore. The Ministry of Defense has a long history of downplaying and dismissing UFO sightings, but what if there's a reason for their silence? What if they know more than they are letting on? The A70 incident is a chilling reminder that we are not alone in the universe, and that our encounters with the unknown are not always friendly. The thing is, this is just the tip of the iceberg. The Falkirk Triangle is a place of deep and dark secrets, and we are about to uncover another one. A secret that involves a secret military project and a rumored Black Triangle aircraft. Are we dealing with visitors from another world, or something far more sinister? Project Condign. For decades, the British government has maintained a public stance of disinterest in the subject of UFOs. But behind the scenes, a very different story was unfolding. In the late 1990s, the Ministry of Defense launched a top-secret study into the UFO phenomenon, codenamed Project Condign. The final report, a 400-page document, was released to the public in 2006 under the Freedom of Information Act, and its conclusions were, to say the least, shocking. The report, which was based on an analysis of over 10,000 UFO sightings, concluded that the existence of unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs, was indisputable. It went on to say that these objects could exhibit aerodynamic characteristics well beyond those of any known aircraft or missile. But the most startling revelation was the report's focus on a particular type of UAP, the Black Triangle. These silent, menacing craft had been seen all over the world, but they were particularly prevalent in the Falkirk Triangle. What many overlooked is the significance of this admission. For the first time, the British government was acknowledging that there was a genuine mystery in our skies, and that they had no explanation for it. The Project Condign report was a bombshell, but it also raised more questions than it answered. What were these black triangles? Where were they coming from? And what was their purpose? The report suggested that they could be a form of atmospheric plasma, a natural phenomenon that is not yet fully understood by science. But for many researchers, this explanation was just another way of saying, we don't know. But not all things are what they seem. The thing nobody tells you is that there is another, more sinister explanation for the black triangles. For years, there have been rumors of a top-secret U.S. military aircraft, a hypersonic spy plane called the TR-3B Astra. The TR-3B is said to be a massive, triangular-shaped craft that is powered by a revolutionary propulsion system that allows it to hover silently and accelerate to incredible speeds. The descriptions of the TR-3B are a perfect match for the black triangles that have been seen in the Falkirk Triangle. Many people are crazy about the idea of a secret space program, and the TR-3B is at the heart of that conspiracy. If this aircraft does exist, it would be the most advanced piece of technology on the planet, and it would explain a lot of the UFO sightings that have been reported over the years. But it also raises a disturbing question. What is the US military doing flying a top-secret spy plane over a quiet corner of Scotland? The thing is, this is not just speculation. There have been several credible witnesses who claim to have seen the TR-3B, and there is a growing body of evidence that suggests that this aircraft is very real. It gets worse as we connect the Falkirk Triangle to a recent interstellar visitor, the alien probe theory. In July of 2025, astronomers made a startling discovery. They detected a strange, fast-moving object racing through our solar system. Named 3I Atlas, this was only the third confirmed interstellar object ever to be discovered, and its properties were highly unusual. It was moving at a blistering speed of over 150,000 miles per hour, and it was on a trajectory that would take it close to the sun before it was flung back out into the depths of space. What many overlooked is the timing of this discovery. Just as the world was starting to take the UFO phenomenon seriously, with the release of the Pentagon's UAP report and the growing number of credible sightings, we are visited by an object from another star system. The thing nobody tells you is that 3I Atlas is not just another comet. It is a messenger from the vast dark ocean of interstellar space, a reminder that our solar system is not an isolated island in the cosmos, but not all things are what they seem. Many people are crazy about the idea of alien probes, and 3I Atlas has certainly fueled that speculation. Its strange, elongated shape and its unusual trajectory have led some scientists to suggest that it could be an artificial object, a probe sent by an advanced alien civilization to explore our solar system. The Hubble Space Telescope and the James Webb Space Telescope have been studying 3I Atlas intensely, and what they have found is both fascinating and perplexing. The object is composed of a strange mix of materials, some of which are not found in our solar system. The thing is, this is not the first time we have been visited by a strange interstellar object. In 2017, the Oumuamua object caused a stir in the scientific community, with its bizarre, cigar-like shape and its unusual non-gravitational acceleration. The debate over whether Oumuamua was a natural object or an alien probe is still raging, but 3I Atlas has added a new and intriguing chapter to the story. What if these interstellar objects are not just random visitors, but are part of a larger, coordinated effort to explore our solar system? The mysteries of the Falkirk Triangle remain, a silent testament to the unknown. Are we alone in the universe, or are we just a small part of a much larger cosmic community? Like and subscribe for more explorations into the unexplained.